We get a lot of flu vaccines. All right, we're about to start.
Good afternoon. This is the Friday virtual media briefing regarding the City of Dallas response to this week's winter storm. I'm Rick Erickson. I'll be moderating this call, and Claudia Torrescano will be available for Spanish interviews and translation. We will also continue to post updated information about the city's response on dallascitynews.net and our social media sites. At this point, we are not planning a virtual news briefing tomorrow, but we will send out an advisory to media outlets if there is any updates to the city's response. Now let's get updates from our key city departments. Afterwards, we'll take some media questions. First up is Kevin Oden, Director of the Emergency Management and Crisis Response Department.
Thank you. Thank you, Rick. Good afternoon, everybody. Kevin Oden with Emergency Management and Crisis Response. Again, I want to recognize our mayor and city council for their support during this, as well as our city manager for her leadership throughout this event. On behalf of the city and Emergency Management and Crisis Response, I want to provide a short update on the coordinated response to the ongoing winter weather event. As we continue managing the challenges brought on by the conditions, I want to take a second to recognize the remarkable efforts of many of our city staff who are working tirelessly to keep our community safe, informed, and supported. Our teams have demonstrated exceptional dedication last week and through this week. And some examples very quickly is our Office of Homeless Solutions staff have been providing critical transportation and sheltering services for our unhoused neighbors, serving over 1,200 guests last night. This has been a tremendous effort and coordinated across multiple partners that highlights our commitment to our unhoused neighbors. Secondly, our 911 and 311 call takers have been managing not only routine day-to-day calls for service, but also increased call volumes. And they're keeping us, our staff here in the Emergency Operations Center, informed of any emerging needs. Third, recognize our data analytics team for building real-time tools that are helping us stay informed and anticipate any needs that we need to take to make tactical decisions. Our code officers as well are addressing any emergency service requests and looking for any utility outages, particularly at multifamily complexes. They're responding to emergency calls and supporting residents. Fortunately, for right now, we have no evidence of widespread power outages, especially at our multifamily communities. And then last, our Transportation, Public Works, and DWU strike team that are leading our efforts to keep the roads open and treated. They're having 24-hour operations, monitoring over 4,000 lane miles of roadway to maintain mobility, ensure safety, and keep commerce flowing here in Dallas. All of these efforts are a very unified approach to protect health and safety of our residents. For this period that we're working in, we have the same goals as we did yesterday, deploying our resources promptly that address key impacts as they occur and ensure resident safety and service continuity. And then second, providing timely and accurate public information that shows transparency and coordination throughout the event. From emergency response to infrastructure support, all of our teams are aligned on meeting these goals. We're working together to keep Dallas safe and operational during this time. We continue to encourage all of our residents to follow official city channels, report any concerns or service needs to the city, either via 911 or 311. And we're here for you, for our residents, and we're working tirelessly to make sure that we're limiting any impacts of this event. Just before we go into updates from our key departments, I want to do two quick housekeeping items. First, close out from yesterday's call where we were speaking about traffic accidents. We've got some numbers to give you that are updated as of today. We've worked about half the normal number of accidents in Dallas today as we would have in your typical January day. Now, what that tells me is the conditions of the roadways are being kept open, but then also residents are heeding advice to stay off the roadways where possible. So That's one number. And then second item, we've been made aware that one of our alert and warning systems that residents use to get notifications has been sending out erroneous alerts from other parts of the country. We've gotten that shut down and locked down. There was a glitch with the system. We apologize for any confusion it may had. We understand the issue, and we'll keep working to make sure that does not happen again. But again, it probably a minor inconvenience to folks. But we wanted to make sure that we acknowledge that, and that we're working to make sure that that stuff doesn't happen. With that, Rick, if you'll lead us through the department updates, and then we'll take any questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Next up will be Gus Concarly, who is the Director of Transportation and Public Works, and he'll be followed by Tina Richardson of Street Operations.
Thank you, Rick. Good afternoon, everyone. Basically, in driving around the city, there are some pockets of ponding waters on the roadway, and there are some locations where snow is still falling. So my message is that as we go through the overnight hours, looking at the forecast, it looks like we're going to have some freezing. So I would urge the residents to be cognizant of that and try to be careful and avoid travel if they can. Otherwise, slow down and as we continue to treat those areas. From a transportation operations standpoint, we do have about 11 traffic signals that are either on flash or have equipment issues throughout the city. We have about 1,450 signals, so this is a small number, but we will continue to address those as we proceed. And as far as the street treatment is concerned, we're going to continue to be treating the trouble spots and going through the operation as we currently have. And with that, I'll turn it over to Tina to expand a little bit on the street sanding operation.
No, Gus, you said it all. That's all I was going to add. We'll have about 20 to 30 trucks still monitoring the streets and the black ice and critical safety areas. So, and just want everybody to drive slow and be cognizant of the road. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Tina. Next, we're going to go to Lauren Rounds with the Department of Aviation.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lauren Rounds, spokesperson for the Department of Aviation. To begin our status update, Dallas Love Field remains open and operational throughout the event. Both runways and priority taxiways are clear and in use, as well as terminal areas like sidewalks and our adjacent roadways. All services will continue to be monitored for further treatment as needed. Although the numbers have decreased from yesterday, our airline partners are still seeing many cancellations today, so passengers should continue checking directly with their airline for flight statuses and assistance with rescheduling. We are seeing increased activity today, but it's still lower than average considering the weather. With the Cotton Bowl game scheduled for today, our general aviation and charter airline partners at Dallas Love Field, as well as Dallas Executive in particular, should see more traffic throughout the day as we welcome game attendees to the city of Dallas. If you are coming to the airport, please drive safely and give yourself plenty of time to get to the airport. We still recommend arriving at least 2 hours before departure, just to account for any potential long waits and check-in or on the roadways or at the TSA screening area. Our 24/7 Airport Operations Center can answer any questions or concerns you may have, as well as connect you with the appropriate resources and parties to get the information you need. Safety remains our utmost priority for staff and passengers, so we advise everyone to be on the lookout, be patient. If there are any areas of concern that you notice while you're on airport property, please let a member of our staff know so we can immediately address it. And as always, continue to follow Dallas Love Field on all social media platforms for the latest updates.
All right, thank you, Lauren. Now we're going to go to Christine Crosley with the Office of Homeless Solutions.
Why am I saying when it's raining? I mean, he wants to see fans.
Christine, we can't hear you.
Why am I wasting time? Is it in the rain?
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Hear you
Okay.
now.
Okay. Breaking, and so we're at 1,252 people total. At Fair Park Grand Place, 698. Tower Building, 240. And Austin Street 2, 314 as of 10 p.m. last night. We are also at 4 cats, 9 dogs, and 1 python. So thank you to Dallas Animal Services, who have been very creative in helping with all of our pet needs. I also will remind people that transportation zones are still the same and can be accessed on our website, dallascityhall.com, Office of Homeless Solutions. All of the transportation runs from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and can be accessed by 311. 311 is utilized between 5 a.m. and 10 p.m. And then for any transportation needs or emergencies, it's 911 from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. We're very grateful for our volunteers. Volunteer needs in inclement weather shelter do not end when the snow ends. Our triggers are different, so we are usually the first to open and the last to close. We will definitely have volunteer needs as we move into the weekend. Those can be accessed via ohsvolunteer@dallas.gov or through Austin Street Center. We also have some very particular needs in terms of supplies that would be very, very helpful. So to that end, and to talk about some other stuff, I'm going to hand it over to Daniel Roby, CEO and President at Austin Street Center, who is leading inclement weather shelter operations on behalf of OHS and the city of Dallas. Daniel?
Thank you, Christine. Things are running smoothly at all shelter locations. And so we're at this point, we're in great need of men's shoes. So I would love to get that out if we can. And besides that, we've got every location mentioned. So we've got 314 people at one shelter, 698 at another second shelter, and 240 at a third.
And we are also in need of women's underwear and socks, and I believe Depends in all sizes. Daniel, do you want to talk about where donations should be routed to? I know you mentioned it yesterday.
Yeah, donations can go to Austin Street Center at 1717 Jeffrey Street. The zip code is 75226. Those hours of drop off are between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. daily. And so we welcome items there. If there are any other specific items, I mean, that information is on our website at austinstreet.org. You can also select a volunteer at austinstreet.org/volunteer.
And to track when inclement weather shelter is activated, the city of Dallas releases a press release at 4 a.m. every day that says whether or not we are active, and whether or not we are closing that day. So please stay tuned for those as we move into the weekend.
All right, thank you, Christine. Next, we're going to check in with Dallas Animal Services and Paul Ramon.
Good afternoon, Paul Ramon, Director for Dallas Animal Services. I would ask if our media partners could continue to relay the messaging that if possible for the community to keep pets indoors during lower temperatures. Please report any pets without shelter to 311 under the animal lack of care weather, and with the keyword weather emphasized so that we could prioritize those responses. Animal services officers are responding to calls 24 hours a day. We have to date, as of 10:30 this morning, responded to a total of 193 weather-related calls with 58 notices of violations issued. Currently, Dallas Animal Services is closed to the public for adoption. However, we are here to assist in any owner reunifications, process online adoptions, fosters and rescues, and to take in any strays that are sick or injured from the hours of 11 to 5 p.m. If those services are needed, please refer to 311 and we will take care of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're going to check in with Cliff Gillespie at the Dallas Department of Sanitation.
Good afternoon. I'm Cliff Gillespie, Director of Sanitation. Sanitation resumed Thursday garbage and recycle collection routes at 10 a.m. today. Our crews are working hard to catch up on service after the disruptions caused by the weather. If our crews are able to complete Thursday routes early today, they will begin servicing Friday routes later this afternoon. So any remaining Friday routes will be completed tomorrow with crews starting as soon as the neighborhood street conditions permit. We appreciate residents' understanding and flexibility as we navigate these weather challenges. Our sanitation team is committed to ensuring reliable service while prioritizing safety for everyone. So we just ask that everyone please continue to monitor updates from the city for any further information. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Cliff. Now we're going to check in with Dallas Police with Major Jordan Kalunga.
All right, how y'all doing? We've had no weather-related issues affecting our police response. So far, we're going to keep monitoring as low temps come in the next couple hours. We do have a couple, I think we have 3 blocker trucks throughout the city that will be used on any highway accidents regarding, lengthy time frames. We'll have the blocker trucks available and used. We'll just keep monitoring the weather, but so far we haven't had any police response issues. We've been available and working as normal.
Thank you, Major. Now we're going to check in with Chief Scott Pago with the Dallas Fire Department.
Good afternoon. I'm Interim Assistant Chief Scott Pago, Dallas Fire Rescue. Right now, we don't have a lot of new information to share. Everything has been business as usual. We continue to see a reduction in some of the impacts from the weather, but understand there will be a refreezing concern this evening. We stand at the ready for that. We do have our plans, our cold weather plans and procedures still in place, and we will continue to collaborate for the needs and items that come up during this time frame. We maintain our staffing to assist sheltering operations concerning transport and medical staffing. And we will continue to monitor the situation and our resources to ensure that we maintain our emergency response and service delivery. And if anything changes, we are ready to respond. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Now we're going to check in with Daisy Fast, the Director of Communications, Customer Experience, and 311 to discuss 311 operations.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you, Rick. Daisy Fast, Director of Communications and Customer Experience, which includes 311. Just another reminder that Dallas 311 is here 24 hours, 7 days a week to assist with requests for city services and the latest city information. Our call volume continues to be very manageable. Callers are not experiencing any hold times right now. 311 agents are answering all calls within 8 seconds on average. We continue to encourage customers to contact 311 during this time to report any city concerns via the Dallas 311 mobile app or by calling 311 directly. Also, please continue to monitor the City of Dallas homepage, dallas.gov, for the latest updates. Thank you. That's all I have. Back to you, Rick.
Thank you, Daisy. Now, Dallas Manager of Public Information, Jennifer Brown, will announce each media organization in the order of registration. If you have any follow-up questions that by chance we don't get to, please email us at media@dallas.gov. Jennifer?
Thank you so much, Rick, and to everyone that's joined us today. I will go through the list of the folks that have registered and in order here, starting with, do we have a question from KERA, please? All right, doesn't look like we have KERA on the line. If anyone joins, we'll have another opportunity before we conclude for additional questions. Do I have a representative from News Nation here today? News Nation, I see you on the line. Just asking if you have a question. All right, just also confirming that you're able to unmute, or if you would like to add your question to the chat, that's fine as well. We can come back to you. How about Telemundo?
Hi, guys. Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to ask questions. We did want to ask where those 11 traffic lights have been in the area. And then if you can also let us know where we can find the numbers of the total animals and homeless people. I know there were several numbers thrown out there, so we were trying to get the full round number.
It's Joe
Thank you.
Andrews. See.
On the traffic signals, we've got some in here in downtown. So for example, Elm, St. Paul, Lamar and Wood, and San Jacinto and St. Paul. And then we've got some in the southern sector, Westmoreland and Wheatland. And we've got a few other places like on the East Dallas, Barnes Bridge, and Shiloh. So kind of around the city.
For the numbers for homelessness, animals, and people, we'll have a cumulative total that is a memo going over everything once inclement weather shelter ends that we'll list day by day. For now, I can just repeat it for you, or we can provide that to you via email if you'd like it in writing.
Email would be great. Thank you, Christine.
Okay.
Thank you for those questions. Next on the list, Dallas Morning News.
Hi, hello. Thank you for letting us ask questions. I wanted to ask you if the city will have a report or any data about the city's total response to the storm. And I had another question also about the alerts that went out recently with the system. And if there's anything else you could tell us about how many alerts there were and how those went out, if they went out over phone, email, and text.
Yes, so on the first item, we'll do a full accounting, not only of costs, but of operations. And we'll be reporting that out, and we'll make that available to the council and to residents. I expect us to do that in the near term than long term for both of those items. And then on the alert system, I don't have a total count. What I'll tell you is that it all depended on how a registrant to the system chose alerts. So somebody might have gotten only emails, somebody might have gotten emails and text. So it just really depended on how the person was registered, and also depended on what specific alerts a person was registered for. The most important thing is we caught the issue, we got on the phone with the vendor, the issue is resolved, and the vendor is doing a full audit of the system to make sure that there are no other snags in the way folks register or how the system operates, so that this could happen again. My sincere apologies to anybody if we tied up your phones and email inbox. This morning, I think it was a very short time that the alerts were going out, but it was a significant amount in a short amount of time. So I can definitely understand the frustrations. And so we'll be providing more information on that in our report probably this evening to the city council on follow up from that item.
Next on the list, I have NBC Telemundo.
Hi, Kevin. David Goins here. Quick question: how long will the OEM be stood up? Are we all going to wrap it up pretty soon? Because I know Christine will keep the temporary shelters open a little bit longer, but the overall storm response, how much longer does that last for you guys? And also, and I know after action stuff will come later, but just given the scale of preparation and the amount of departments, like how do you feel it's gone?
So on your first question, where we're at and evaluating keeping the center open is we're going to stay open throughout today. We'll make a decision tonight on if we demobilize staff from the site. Obviously, one of our big concerns is making sure that the roadways stay clear, and especially that our guests that are making their way to the Cotton Bowl are able to get there safely. The second thing, just on how we've gone, I mean, from a team perspective, the collaboration of all the departments has been tremendous. The rhythm that everybody has gotten into has really been very seamless. We got into it very, very quickly. The leadership we've received from the city manager and the support we've received from council has been tremendous. So we'll take a look at like a very deep dive into all the little details, but from a macro perspective, I feel very comfortable and confident and very obviously appreciative to the steps that have been taken by all of our city staff.
Thank you for that. And I also wanted to add that I see in the chat a request from Univision DFW. Can we get answers in Spanish about how many accidents are reported in the last hours? And when do you think will be safe to drive on the highways? In Spanish, please.
Is
Is now a
Claudia
good
on?
time, or we could hold
Yes.
till the end? Okay, thank you.
El tráfico de accidentes en las carreteras de la ciudad de Dallas en este momento es aproximadamente la mitad de lo que es tradicionalmente el promedio de los accidentes que se presentan diariamente. Es muy probable que por la noche se vaya a seguir acumulando lo que es el hielo negro y esto va a ser peligroso, de manera que la recomendación sigue siendo que se queden en casa y que no salgan si no es necesario. Así que muy probablemente hasta el día de mañana, ya más tarde, pueda empezar a esclarecerse los caminos. Gracias.
Thank you for that. Any follow-up questions in Spanish for now?
Hey, yeah, Juanita here with Telemundo again. Just wondering if Claudia can be on camera for that, or if she could email us her official photo so we can use it in a graphic and her title, please.
Yes, of course.
We will send that information. Thank you. All right. Next, I have on the list here D Magazine. Do I have a representative from D? Okay. And then I have Spectrum News 1. How about 570 KLIF?
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Fox? DPS Texas. ARLD. WFAA. KXAS. And then again, Univision. All right. Any additional questions before we conclude? If you do have any follow-up questions, please feel free to email us, media@dallas.gov. Thank you so much. Back to Rick.
Thank you, Jennifer. And again, we do not plan at this point a virtual briefing tomorrow. And that email address that Jennifer just gave you, media@dallas.gov. Send us any questions that come up for the weekend, and we will respond to you as quickly as possible. Thank you very much.